From now on, I think we're going to start every show with a drone update. Maybe not every show, but we got to give you a drone update.
This story is starting to get strange.
It is starting to get strange.
I dismissed it at first.
Yeah. I mean, I still don't think it's an Iranian mothership. I still think that's ridiculous. But
no,
it is
but
getting weird.
Something's going on.
There's something going on here.
This isn't just a story that's being ginned up. There's something going on here that's not normal.
We have to figure out what the hell is going on. That's what Donald Trump thinks. He says Trump calls for mystery drones to be shot down. President-elect Trump on Friday evening called for authorities to shoot down the mysterious drones that have been seen in the skies of New Jersey and around the country. He also suggested the government must know more about the mysterious sightings. So he tweets out on his Truth Social, mystery drone sightings all over the country. Can this really be happening without our government's knowledge? I don't think so. Let the public know, and now. Otherwise, shoot them down. DJT. So let's say it was aliens. Who would be the funnier president during an alien invasion, Donald Trump or Joe Biden? I mean, that is close. That's really close. I mean, it would have to go to Trump, I guess.
It would have to go to Trump.
But, you know, in an alien invasion scenario, actually, we'd probably be best off with Kamala, because they'd see Kamala and be like, I guess this one got here first. I guess she is. Yeah. Sorry. Extraterrestrial life already discovered this planet.
Do you have the technology to fix a melting brain?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Because I'll
to
go
the
with
victor
you
belong
right
the spoils.
now.
Right.
Yeah.
They would mistake Kamala for an alien, and they'd be like, well, I guess somebody beat us to it. Time to move on. So she'd probably be the best in that scenario. But imagine Trump fighting the aliens. I mean, what a way to go out as a species. As a planet.
We have
never mind
Space
a species.
Force on the way to engage the alien menace right now.
Yeah, right. Exactly. That would be quite something. The post, his Truth Social post, comes as there have been mounting reports of sightings in New Jersey, New York, and according to Philadelphia's WPVI-TV, multiple reports of flying objects within Delaware and Philadelphia counties. The Pentagon on Wednesday denied that any foreign country was behind the mysterious drones that have flown near sensitive U.S. military sites in New Jersey. Lawmakers from New Jersey and New York, areas that the mysterious drones have flown over, sent a letter Thursday to the FBI, Department of Homeland Security, and Federal Aviation Administration demanding a briefing on the drones. Senator Kirsten Gillibrand and Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, Democrats from New York, along with New Jersey Senators Cory Booker and Andy Kim, asked agencies how they are working to identify and address the source of recent unmanned aerial system activity. House Speaker Mike Johnson received a classified briefing on the drone sightings earlier on Friday. All right, so he knows what's going on. I guess he hasn't told Donald Trump yet. So here is a pretty funny piece of video and pretty eerie piece of video. So this is from the Department of Satire, obviously not a real government agency here. Breaking news alert from Channel 7, ABC News. We have no idea what this is. This is pretty weird, wild stuff.
Things like this are happening. It seems everyone starts to look up, like my crew and I have been here in Mendham recording this video that you're looking at right now. We have no idea what it is, if it's a natural phenomenon, because it could be, but this is why so many municipalities are now asking people to reach out and send their videos to them or to experts who might be able to sort out what they're seeing in the skies. But I guarantee there are so many people looking up and making those recordings because this mystery is one that needs to be solved. For now, we're live here in Mendham Borough. Tony Yates, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Lee's saying he's wondering whether or not that might be the moon, Tony, but you pointed out
it's not the moon.
Exactly the question people are asking. What is it?
No. Yeah.
Is it the moon?
We're looking at the moon right now, and that's nowhere near the moon.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
All right, we will keep you updated on that. Yeah, it does get strange. There's a News Nation reporter, Rich McHugh, didn't give the drone story much credence, thinking it was pranksters, but then he had a change of heart based on his experience. So here's his reporting.
Hi, Elizabeth. Well, I got to be honest here. You know, when this story first came out a few weeks ago, as a resident of New Jersey, as a journalist, I didn't pay it much credence. I thought it would turn out to be a bunch of pranksters and this would all be over by now. The experience I had last night, however, changed the way I feel about this story completely. What I saw was more sophisticated than I ever imagined. Take a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at least 5 lights, 6 lights. I didn't believe what I was seeing. But what was I seeing?
Looks like
We're here in central Jersey. We've been looking for the past hour. I think we've seen about 40 or 50 of these drones.
Like some of them do look like planes.
But with this same guy, they showed one that was like hovering, and planes don't hover.
Yeah, no, I mean, certainly not all of them are planes. Like some of them, look, obviously, if everybody's pointing their cameras at the sky, some people are going to photograph airplanes and mistake them for drones. Okay, so that's happened sometimes, but not all the time. I mean, there's definitely bullshit going on up there.
In fact, there's one over my shoulder right there.
This.
One after another, these drones appeared in the night sky. If you look real close, they look like fixed-wing aircraft, about 8 to 10 feet wide, colorful, white blinking lights.
That is not a plane.
Definitely not an airplane, but what was it? Hours earlier, I was invited to join the Ocean County Sheriff Department. They launched their own drones to see if they could intercept the mysterious aircraft New Jersey residents have been reporting in recent weeks. The department says these mystery drones evade detection because they don't give off heat like regular drones. Why do you think that is?
We don't know. It's just something that we haven't, it's not something that we've had our hands on. It's not something that we've experienced.
Something they hadn't experienced until now. One of their officers called 911 after seeing 50 of them come off the ocean.
Advised after we made contact with that officer that there were 50 that came off the ocean.
50?
50. That was my reaction also. There were 50 that were coming off the ocean.
And this is a sworn officer?
A sworn officer, yes. We contacted state police, we contacted the FBI, we contacted the Coast Guard, at which point the Coast Guard went out with their boat, and they reported seeing 13 following their boat, and then the Coast Guard also advised that they went over them about 300 feet and had a wingspan of about 8 feet.
I see one right here. Did I see the same thing that officer saw? I'm still not sure. What I can show you is this video. What I can tell you is I've never seen anything like it before. Wow.
So, yeah, I mean, this doesn't get any less weird as you go on.
Nobody wants to talk about how Barack Obama landed on the front lawn of the White House from a spaceship.
Exactly.
This is Barack Obama's people coming to finish the job.
I didn't tune in this afternoon. Sorry, I must have missed that. We were missing key updates, obviously. Yes. Sorry about that, Alex. Nick Sorter tweets out Representative Chris Smith from New Jersey is drafting legislation to allow state and local police to shoot down drones since the DOD is refusing to act. So the Pentagon is keeping things very close to the vest. They have given briefings to certain people. So Mike Johnson received a classified briefing, but it seems like most people are still in the dark about this. So here's Chris Smith.
State and local law enforcement is precluded by law from taking more decisive action, which is why DOD must. They are the ones who have the ability and the authority to act. Congress, yes, and the president, yes, need to move quickly to expand state and local authorities, powers. But DOD has it right now. Sheriff Golden wrote me a few days ago requesting legislation to empower the state police to seriously protect at-risk persons and infrastructure, and if necessary, bring down a dangerous drone or drones. I am now drafting that bill and will soon introduce it. I want to thank him for that idea.
All right. Now, this is making the rounds online quite a bit. So this is John Ferguson, CEO of Saxon Aerospace, a company specializing in manned drone manufacturing, has speculated that the mysterious drones appearing across various regions could be linked to U.S. government efforts to locate missing radioactive nuclear materials. Ferguson suggested that such drones, which often operate under the cover of night, might be engaged in intelligence gathering or classified military operations. According to Ferguson, a whistleblower informed him about a missing nuclear warhead and their attempts to alert government officials to expedite its recovery. He indicated that the drones might play a role in tracking down this highly dangerous and sensitive material. So this is what he's saying. Obviously, we are not reporting this as fact, but this is his speculation, which has been taken quite seriously by a lot of people. It seems to make a modicum of sense, at least coming from an expert. We're certainly in no position to second guess much of it, but take this for what you will. But here it is.
In the 1980s, Ronald Reagan had dismantled the nuclear program, and there were, with Russia, there were countless nuclear missiles that were disarmed and disposed of. Well, there were over 80, I believe. There were over 80 nuclear warheads that were in Ukraine that came up missing. Okay, we don't know where they are. Maybe somebody does, but nobody really knows where these are. And I speak with some pretty high-level government officials on this stuff, and it seems as though that is the case. So I spoke to a gentleman a few months ago who was trying to raise an alarm to the highest levels of our government, which they had their ears closed, about this one particular nuclear warhead that he physically put his hands on. He physically touched this warhead that was left over from Ukraine. And he knew that that thing was headed towards the United States. Okay? That is a very serious deal. And everyone knows that the United States government, this administration, is pushing to get into a war with Russia. We all know that. We all feel it. We all see it. Okay? Well, back up a few years. Do y'all remember when those drones were mysteriously flying across the Interstate 70 corridor from Colorado up into Nebraska, down here into Kansas, and out into Missouri? Well, it was believed that those drones were looking for radioactive material because there had been some material that came up missing here in the United States, and they felt like it was high probability that the nuclear or the radioactive material would be taken along the Interstate 70 corridor heading east or west or south. So from what we understand, they were out there trying to find this radioactive material. So with this...
So that's a cut. This is a 9-minute video. We're playing about 3 minutes. You can find this. This is all over social media, but we're not going to sit here for 9 minutes. See, this guy has to know. See, he says at the beginning of the full cut that he's new to TikTok. One thing you got to work on is you got to be more concise. You're talking about a very dumbed down country with a very limited attention span. Really, 3 minutes, wrap it up. Otherwise, we don't want to hear it. Even if it is about the end of the world and, a lost nuclear weapon. It's like, come on, 3-4 minutes.
Especially
tops.
now,
That's
you
it.
have to talk extra fast before they close up shop on January 13th.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yes.
This gentleman that I had spoken with, who was trying to raise the alarm to try to get somebody in the government to say, hey, we need to work together to go try to find this nuclear warhead. None of that ever happened. They knew that warhead was on its way to the United States. That's all that ever came of it. Nothing ever happened. This government did not do anything at all to help this gentleman raise the alarm and raise awareness that there is a very deadly weapon on its way to the United States. It's out there. Nobody knows where it's at now. It left Europe. Now it's gone. So my guess, my own guess, is that these drones are not nefarious in intent. If they are, they are, but I doubt it. But if they are drones, the only reason why they would be flying and flying that low is because they're trying to smell something on the ground. That's it. There's no other reason for a drone to be flying in the air other than to piss a bunch of people off at night. That's it. So my belief is they're trying to smell something on the ground. Gas leaks, radioactive material, whatever.
So that's his guess. You look, I mean, we're not experts in this field. Who are we to second guess that? That seems to make more sense than an Iranian mothership.
Yeah, well, that we can dismiss out of hand. What I'm saying is at this point, we can safely say this is not just one of those things. Because no matter what they're saying, you cannot just fly drones by military bases without them being shot down. They don't need any special authorization they don't already have to do that. The Stewart Airport up there got shut down by this drone activity.
Right, shutting down airfields.
If they really didn't know what this was, they'd be sending out fighter jets to shoot these down.
Right.
No, the idea, we're helpless. We're looking at no. So at that point, it's not an Iranian operation; it's a government operation. So then you have to ask why, This makes as much sense as anything I can think of.
Yeah, and it makes sense that they would not want to alert the public that, hey, there's a missing nuclear weapon around here somewhere.
I've always wondered about that. I've wondered about that since the end of the Cold War, because that story came out back then at the end of the Cold War, that there was all this nuclear material missing from the former Soviet Union. As far as I know, they never found any of it.
Right. Right. I mean, they would have to keep that under wraps to avoid a panic. They can't put out. Well, I mean, they could just do the old, if you see something, say something. Just don't touch something. Whatever you do, don't touch it. If you see
especially if it's glowing.
Yeah, especially if it's glowing.
Please clap.